Hey Blade Gang, we've got something special, very special on the table today. A real world survival tactical fighting tool by a guy who knows that part of life in the world. Andrew Arabito of Half Face Blades in San Diego, California. These are USA made. Most of his production models are S45 VN. And what I'm figuring is, although they didn't state it exactly, 59 to 61 HRC. And if you know better than that, you'll go ahead and put it in the comments. I was very fortunate to be directed to Half Face Blades, which I'd only heard the name now and then in social media, and seen a few of the knives. They were very interesting. But Dave Eichmomanian from both YouTube and Instagram got in touch with me. He's one of my subscribers here, and thank you so much, Dave. Said, hey, you've really got to check out this one particular knife. I think it's right up your alley from Half Face Blades. So the Humint, Humint, arrived yesterday. Look at this guy. It is amazing. We got an amazing sheath too. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But as you gander at this tactical beauty in S45 VN, American S45 VN, as they state on the website. I've got a little bit of a backstory here, and he's got a huge backstory and lots of videos on YouTube, on his channel and elsewhere, giving his bio. He is a retired Navy SEAL. He started this company in 2015. They're located, as I said, in San Diego. There was some early tie-in with tour knives, and I got that through like blade forums. You don't know, how true is it that he helped get tour knives off the ground, and then later they sort of started copying too much of his, I guess, his knives and his ways. I'm not even going to say that because I don't know, and don't create gossip when you really don't know. But that's something that I read, that there might be a connection between Andy Arabito and tour knives early on. But I got this bio from none other than Smoky Mountain Knife Works. There's a picture of Andrew. He loves to be outdoors, hunt, fish, and design tools. There he is, a photo from his a SEAL assignment in 2004. And he had to retire due to a hand injury where his hand was crushed in a landing exercise, much as I know. I'm not going to go through this. All these pages of paper, I'm going to feel like an idiot, but we're here to talk about the knife. But here we are, almost 4 minutes into it, and I'm trying my best to give you a backstory on Andrew Arabito, the owner. They have both production and custom knives. It seems as though from some Instagram shorts that he has a small shop of, maybe it's a larger shop, but he's got half a dozen or so guys working in his shop turning out these knives. Whether or not he continues to do custom work himself, I'm sure he does. $325 is the going price for this, but I thank Kelsey out there, who I've corresponded with at Half Face Blades, for coordinating with me and sending this for review. But most of their production blades you're going to see in the mid-3s, and the customs you're going to see 750 and up. That's all I can say. This has an acid etched finish on the S45 VN. Very apocalyptic, very suitable for this sort of a blade, for the Humint. And Andrew said he can't really say why he used that name, but it stands for Human Intelligence. It is a full tang knife. We're going to get the measurements on it in a moment. Ergonomically, it is a dream. That's what Dave, like Momanian, had told me. He said, I see the knives you like, and you're going to love this one because he's got one. This is the 4-incher. They make a 3-incher. No sharpening choil. And, somebody called me out on this on one of the comments because I had mentioned on a knife with a rather large sharpening choil that can hang up. And he disputed that fact. But many others, including James Williams, who doesn't like guards and doesn't like sharpening choils, happen to mention that on clothing, the guards can get hung up. On the sharpening choil can get hung up. If that knife goes all the way into something and you pull it out, there could be some difficulty removing that blade. Whether or not it's true, I haven't tried it myself. You can only surmise unless you've been there and done that. There is the half face. Andy was known for painting the top half of his face black when he was out there in the field in operations. And there is a Native American, I think looks like a Mohegan, perhaps, with that mohawk. Maybe a Mohawk Indian, Mohegan Indian. I'm bad with that too. HFB half-face blades. There is no steel marking on this, but I was able to figure out that most of their production blades, particularly the tactical bent, are in S45VN American steel. Let's measure up the Humint element from point to the pommel, exactly 8 inches, exactly 4 inches to the handle. Wow. They're definitely, when they call it a 4-inch blade, it's a 4-inch blade. The sharpened portion of which, very sharp by the way, is just a tad over 3.5 inches. And if we go to the metric land, and in centimeters, we've got 20.2 centimeters and 10 centimeter blade length. Okay, get some other measurements here. In inches, the really nice rock patterned handle is 60.64 inches. The blade stock is 0.14. Blade stock in millimeters, let's see if we can get this right, 3.6. Thick but not overly thick, 16.6 millimeter on the handle. Finally, the weight. Now let's roll it around to grams again. With the blade, the knife that is alone, 140 grams. 4.95 ounces. We got a fixed blade under 5 ounces. That is pretty impressive. Let's talk about the sheath. He felt lines all of his Kydex sheaths. That is outstanding. What does that do for the knife? Well, it obviously prevents rattle. It also prevents wear on the blade, although this being acid etched, I don't think we have to worry about cosmetics too much. Already got some, patterns going on in there due to the etching, and possibly a tumbling afterwards. I'm not entirely sure. So here is where you begin to encounter a little bit of friction. Then it goes in, and then it clicks. And I'm telling you, it ain't going nowhere. Let's back out a little bit. It's going nowhere. He does his Kydex sheaths without a push-off. I really like to have seen a push-off on this, as we see on many other Kydex sheaths. And he's using a pretty standard belt clip. It's I would say, stout, robust. It goes through this attachment, Kydex attachment here that is screwed on. You can remove it and thus remove the clip as well, or switch the clip to the other side should you need to. There's a tunnel there to accept that clip on the other side. I am a big fan of both DCC clips and Ulti clips, and the new Ulti clip that TKL has helped to devise and putting on a lot of their knives, the APH, all-purpose horizontal, which can also, by the way, be mounted vertically. But yeah, this will work fine straight up on the outside of a belt or inside the pants, but just not my cup of tea. It could be yours. If you're putting this on a tactical vest or any kind of a panel, fine, it should go right in and be exactly where you want it. So that certainly could be the purpose of that clip. You can pull this knife out and it breaks in a bit from what it is new. It's certainly not difficult to remove. If this is secured to your belt or even maybe a pocket, that's going to come right out. Exceedingly well made and attention to detail sheath, however, other than the fact that I don't prefer the clip. Hey, got to dislike something, right? In the hand, the ergos are nothing short of amazing. A lot of people, when they do this bayonet grind, a lot of makers, don't give you a decent thumb ramp. I will habitually put my thumb on the back of a blade, and if there's an edge there, I'm going to cut myself. It's just habit, all right? It's what I learned from the Filipino martial arts, what they call the so-called Filipino grip. If I extend out fully, yeah, I'm going to encounter it, but there's enough of a transition here between the ramp and the edge that you're really encountering the edge right about there. And my thumb is, even at full extension, isn't going to make its way out onto the blade unless I really stretch. So in a natural cross palm saber style grip, this is perfect. For the thrust, amazing. You might ask, how is it in Pikal? It is perfect. The handle gets wider towards the pommel, which normally for me wouldn't give me a good grip in Pikal, but this is amazing. Really solid. It's like I've got a knob here, you know, to hold on to. And perfect positioning, 90 degree, maybe even a little greater than that. But there is your edge. So if you like this thrust and pull, ripping type action, even if you're trapping in here, you've got this, which is somewhat in the painful area for the recipient. Rock pattern, and I didn't mention how really nice this canvas micarta is. Call it a black, call it a gray, whatever you like. 3 bolts with a hex head, really nice, nicely recessed. And normally finger grooves, I'm not real big on them, but when it's like a piece of clay that just nestles right in your hand, this isn't going anywhere. You guys that need to have some sort of a guard going forward, you not only have that, but you've got 4 fingers. And on the withdraw, you've got that bird's beak. There's the bird. Flip 'em the bird. And pulling it out of the sheath, you can assist with this. So if you get this set up correctly with the clip of your choice, you're going to have no problem using that pommel to withdraw the blade. Let's wander on to, before we get to comparisons, I'm amazed by the edge on this knife straight out of the box. I find, I'm going to blow it here with my technique, it's sharp on both sides. Yeah, very often you're going to get the top edge that doesn't cut. But this is amazing. It's both toothy and razor-like. Really, really good. It's a perfect edge. They grind it on, and then it looks like there's just a little bit of stropping that's done. Hard to see under the light, perhaps. Trust me, that's the only edge you're going to need on the knife until you use it a lot as a tool or otherwise. I'm going to bring out a knife that reminds me of this one because of the, and strangely enough, they're also made in the San Diego area, Compliance Edge. How about that for some similarity? No, they're not copies. There's a lot of people doing this bayonet style grind with this spear sort of a blade. We've got a little more of a belly on the top there, and you have a similar setup with a thumb ramp, similar setup with the way the grind is, no sharpening choil, and this is the DCK from Compliance Edge. Very pronounced bird's beak on the end there. A lot of people say, oh, you know, these are too rough and so forth. I think he's modified them since. This is an earlier copy that I got directly from Compliance Edge with a gold Cerakote. And this one is in Magnacut. What is this? See, it also doesn't label them. I think it's 3V. Let me find out for you. Yeah, I took a look at my listing, and it's 3V, okay? So we got a really nice blade of 3V. A bit different with the rock pattern, however. Gray G10. I like that color combo. What can I say? Cosmetics. But I would say very much the same setup, except we got different handle ergos going on there. We got a different blade profile, but similar in that they're both have the partially sharpened top edge, fully sharpened bottom edge. Another one that comes to mind, of course, is the Agent 001 from TKL Knives. And not as tall a knife, top to bottom. This was a knife co-designed by Bob, the knife junkie DeMarco, and Tim Kell of TKL Knives. They're doing some bang-up stuff. I've got quite a few TKLs, and I've got a couple more coming in that they graciously are sending me for review. You'll see those soon. But compare here. We have a bit different approach, a flat platform with jimping, but still an adequate place to put your thumb. Got the bird's beak going on there. See how much wider the handle is here. I actually do prefer this for the security in the hand. I prefer this for its ability to be discreetly carried, just a bit more in terms of that size. And then another favorite combat style, defensive style knife is from the good folks in Reno, Nevada. And this is Auxiliary Manufacturing. This is Magnacut, and this is the Carl Senior. I call it Senior, the Carl. A fairly large knife at 4 inches. Blade, yeah, just about the same. Overall, just a bit longer, so we got a bit more of a handle going on there. Okay. Very favorite knife. It just feels super in the hand. We got sort of a swell going on in the middle. You can't see it, but you can certainly feel it. It just fits in the palm so well. I'm going to rearrange these maybe in order of size. Not that that isn't the largest one, but I want to keep the knife we're talking about today on the top. All have great sheaths, by the way. Here is another USA-made knife, and so far, all USA-made knives. Half face, a auxiliary, compliance, and TCAL. And here is another American-made knife by Armis, Michael Grasso, right there. And that is his VSK, very sharp knife. That's the full-size version. I've got the mini as well. Again, we got kind of an acid wash, tumble finish going on in the blade. This one is from AEBL, I'm pretty sure. If he labeled it, a lot of guys aren't putting the steel on their knives unless it's snuck in there somewhere. All right, I won't get too into it. Pretty sure it's AEBL. It is a stainless steel. That is a stainless steel, S45VN, probably more premium. Not so much more so really, if any, than the Magna Cut and so forth. And almost finally, I think I'll stick them in on the sides. I have the Handy from Viper Knives, now owned by Fox, by the way. Probably one of the most probably, and the most, I know, oxymoron, but an exquisitely made Italian knife, shall we say, in Magna Cut. One of the most ergo grips going, tapered tang. This is a factory production knife. There's your tapered tang. Yep, thinner there than it is here, so it tapers. Ergoed out handle that just, like I say, like this one, like putty in your hand. Put that over there, and we got one more coming. Only because the handle is way different from the rest of these guys. We got the stick-like Japanese traditional handle, Williams design, Sleipner steel, made by Lion Steel for Williams blade. One of my favorite knives, simply because it is so versatile in how you can hold this blade. Any grip that you like. An encased tang, micarta handle, 3 screws. We've got what they call the emperor node there, so you can tell where the blade is when it's in the right hand or the left. And that's about a 3.5 inch blade. Got about a 3.5, 3 3/4 inch blade going on there. These are the bigger boys, 4 inch, 4 inch, pretty close to 4 inch here. Yeah, like I was showing you earlier that I already forgot about. So besides showcasing the fantastic half face blades, Humint at the top, that again is also available in a 3 inch. I will give you as many links as I can on Andrew's bio and history of the company and catalog of many knives, all the way from the kind of quasi-production custom level at around 3 1/4 for this guy, all the way up, sky's the limit, for antler horn and all kinds of other amazing stuff, materials that he uses. Once again, I want to thank Kelsey and Andrew out there at Half Face Blades in San Diego. Thank you so much for sending this my way. And thanks again also to Dave Eichmomanian. It means somebody into knives. Thank you all very much. Be well, take care, stay safe. I'll make sure you see this one again in some upcoming reviews.